So today, let's talk about the 5 scams that foreigners need to watch out for and avoid. 5 scams. So you finally made it to paradise. Palm trees, sandy beaches of all colors, smiles everywhere, and for many, a lower cost of living. And some foreigners, you think people will treat you well because you're a foreigner. Be more generous to you, be more polite to you. But here's the truth. For many people, and especially depending on where you are going to be staying, being a foreigner doesn't mean you'll be respected. Sometimes it means you're going to be targeted. I've lived here long enough, probably altogether about 6 years now, and I have seen smart foreigners lose it all. Not because of the economy, but because of their ego. So today, let's talk about the 5 scams that foreigners need to watch out for and avoid to not just lose their money, but save their dignity. So, welcome back again. My name is Gil Sergera. I'm a consultant here in the Philippines, as well as an entrepreneur, and just a regular guy trying to make it here. So, I want to start with the biggest scam isn't your wallet, it's your mindset when you come here to the Philippines. When you assume that everyone is kind, you tend to lower your guard. But at the same time, when you feel that everyone's out to get you, then you lose connection as well. So for me, real wisdom lives right there somewhere in the middle, not paranoia. So for me, after living here for so many years and working with Filipinos, being a Filipino myself, the real wisdom is somewhere there in the middle. You know, at the end of the day, everyone wants respect, but you don't want the paranoia. So if you have ever been scammed while you are abroad, whether it's in Europe, whether in any part of Asia and the Philippines, comment down below so you can help the community not get scammed. And if you are serious about living smarter, not just cheaper, and understanding how things work here in the Philippines, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like the video. And more importantly, share, and even way more importantly, comment down below. I just want to let you know that paradise does have a price. Every single year, foreigners migrate to the Philippines, whether it's in a younger age that I've seen lately, as well as they could be mid-age, they could be, remote workers or the retired kind. To a great degree, everyone's chasing peace, freedom, and a fresh start. But I would have to say, from my observation, growing up in the West, many foreigners who come here with their Western assumptions. To some extent, thinking that every smile means kindness, kindness means trust, and cheap prices means good deals. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get a lot of that here or anywhere in the Philippines, but I just like to plug Dumaguete in Davao City. I've always found a really good mix of nice people here that are willing to speak with you, and for the most part, everyone here is not out to get you. Let me just get that straight. But I do want to highlight some of the scams that many foreigners and Filipinos alike sometimes, face and unfortunately experience. So I learned fast that Philippines is friendly, but not naive. The people here read body language faster than Google Translator or any AI out there. They can tell when you're humble or you're lost. Because you have to understand, many people here, are in survival mode. And when you're in that mode, you are keen on to pick up on things, right? You are keen to pick up on things. Growing up in Long Island, New York, and Hempstead, it's somewhat like the ghetto. You understand when somebody goes on the block, what happens already, or you're on the lookout already. Comment down below if you grew up in a neighborhood like that, where every time somebody pulls up in that neighborhood, everyone's poking their head out like one of those meerkats. Everyone's like one of these type of things. So comment down below. We'd love to hear those stories from you. Going back, when people here kind of see those things from you, that's where things start. Whether the person's a really nice person and really wants to help you, or unfortunately, they're running the scam. Please take this with a grain of salt, because you enter these type of situations at your own risk. Scam number 1, the friendly fixer. That's why you see signages in all these government, offices here. However, obviously there's fixers in there. But the friendly fixer, they show up in your time of need to do your paperwork, to do your license, to do your, I hope you don't do this, your land deals. They'll process everything for you, one shot. They don't, so you don't have to be bothered. Just be careful. For the most part, in any country, but especially here, you have to be careful. They're fast talking. They're very confident, and they always know a guy on the inside, right? They always know a guy. So the truth is, they do know a guy on the inside. The one taking your money, the one hiking it up 1,000% sometimes. One time I made the mistake when I was younger to get a fixer to get my license because I didn't want to go through the process. I didn't realize to get the license was only a small amount. But this dude was going to charge me like 5,000 pesos back then, which is about $100. It's still a lot of money at the same time. But I think getting a license, waiting online, doing the proper, thing to do when you get a license, I think it only cost me less than 1,000. But my impression was I was going to go through a hard time, so let me get the fixer to do this. However, I got a kick in the nuts because years later, I didn't realize the guy that was making it for me was making fake licenses. And when I had to renew my license, when they ran the license, they were like, "This is Peke. Peke is fake." And I was like, "Oh no, I pretty much went through my Philippine life with this fake license. No one's ever really known." But when they checked in the LTO, no record. So be aware of the friendly fixer. Really do your due diligence when you're using the friendly fixer. My rule of thumb is for especially big transactions, make sure it's in writing, number one. Make sure you do it in front of a lawyer, and make sure the lawyer is not someone they choose. It's your personal lawyer or one you seek out, right? So it'll be a bit more fair. And that's one thing that I've always done, especially with land deals that I've gone through. So scam number 2 is the lending trap. So generally speaking, it goes, "Bro, can I borrow X amount of money? Let's say 5,000 pesos, right? I'll pay you next week. I'm getting paid next week." So it starts off small. They end up paying you, and then everything's good. A couple of weeks pass. "Bro, can I get another 5,000 because I need to pay bills. My money's short because something came up." Then obviously that trust is built in already. You give it to them, and everything goes smooth once again. Everything goes smooth because, that bridge of trust has been built. Now, the third or fourth time, it's going to be like, "Hey, listen, man, you think I can borrow like 10,000 because I got this thing coming up and somebody's in the hospital," and so on and so forth. And two things happen. Either one, you become the bank because you're really nice and you're helping out people in an impoverished country, or number two, they just up and leave and you can't find them at all and they disappear out of your life. Filipinos have the same, like utang lipay, bayad likay. That I don't know how to say in Tagalog, but utang lipay means, in the translation is you get the utang, you're happy because you can spend it. When it's time to pay, you are nowhere to be found. You are freaking on the endangered species list. So just be careful with the lending that you might go out there with. And more importantly, be okay with not getting that money back if you are going to spend your hard-earned money, especially those of you guys, foreigners who are on a fixed income, right? So generosity is good, right? But you have to have systems in place to protect yourself at the end of the day, right? Like I'm telling you right now, some of these things that people do, because they've done it to me. I used to have a lending business. All I'm saying is third or fourth time it becomes really weird. Some people don't pay. So I start taking collateral, or I really start assessing the whole situation at the end of the day. When I say assessing, I mean I get to know the person. I kind of understand their habits. These are the systems in place that I do for myself. Like I see oh, after I gave you this money, you're going out drinking. I see things on social media. Now, that's because I have to gauge whether I can trust them or not. So just take that with a grain of salt how deep you want to get into this, because if it's worth nothing for you to lose X amount of money, then by all means. But if it's a big amount of money, I would love to think that you're more careful with it, to be honest with you, some of you foreigners. And please, please, please Do not fall for the lending of just something pretty. Please, just for the attention that they're giving you. When you give this money, please have some sense of structure. You know, don't just do it on impulse. Ask clarifying questions. Dig deeper into it so you can kind of see how legitimate that wanting to get money from you is, right? Like I said, first, second loan might be great. You build that trust, that connection is made, the rapport is built. Come third or fourth, you better be careful, right? You better be careful. So that's scam number 2. Scam number 3, I call it the sweetheart setup, right? So she loves me, right? You meet a girl, she loves you. She's hugging up on you. She's making you feel warm and fuzzy. She cooks for you, and she says, I'm different from every other girl, I really care about you. And, a few months later, her brother needs surgery. Her mother or father needs X. And her, uncle is sick. They live deep in the province, and, I just got to send them money. So understand that. And I am sure in reality, it does happen. Just be careful and don't fall for the young, nice piece of booty that just doesn't make any sense. Right? You know what I'm saying? You guys are smart. I know you guys are smart. You know when it's gold digger energy, and you know when it's authentic. That's all I'm saying. Now, eventually, that savior crisis many of you foreigners have, some of you are going to get your wallets taken, and some of you, that wallet's going to be looked at as the cure, because it's the cure-all for everything. Because, honey, I'm so ashamed to ask you this, but Uncle June needs a liver or something, or needs some medicine. Do you think we can help them? And and so on and so forth. Now I'm not saying that some of it is not real. Some of it is very real. But once again, be careful with who you go around. Analyze everything at the end of the day, right? And know when you're getting gamed, right? Even for those of you that maybe you've never experienced that sweetheart setup. You've never experienced being loved, being caressed, and all those things. All I'm saying is, don't go in there stupid. And obviously don't go in there using the person as well, right? Don't abuse them. But once again, ask clarifying questions. Go deeper into it, because the more they're annoyed with those questions, the more I feel that it's fake. That's all I'm saying. Because if it was genuine, you know when the person's really genuine, no matter how much you ask them, and obviously the tone has to be a lot more empathetic and things like that, not accusatory. It becomes natural when somebody needs help, you know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, don't get me wrong, some people can really play it well. All I'm saying is clarifying questions, go deeper into it before just pulling out your wallet and letting it go. Number 4, the motorcycle middleman. I love this one because this has happened to me a few times, where I had to use someone in the middle because I didn't want to get the foreigner price. Because I can speak Bisaya, I can also write in Bisaya. But the moment I show up to any purchase or anything like that, they're going to hear my intonation, they're going to hear my tone. They know that it's usually, tagagawas ka, sir, or lahi man imong Bisaya. So for those of you who have Bisaya partners, they can translate that for you. So, when you buy anything, right? When you buy anything, make sure the paper is right. You have the OR, the CR, right? And if you buy in cash, make sure the papers are there. That's really, really important. OR and CR. OR means original receipt. CR means certificate of registration. And do not fall for the Xerox copy. They'll be like, I got a Xerox copy. I don't fall for it because it's not the real one. I mean, there's a point of contention where you can still process it. I would rather have the original one, obviously, right? And at the end of the day, some of those bikes can be borrowed. Make sure their name ties up with the name of the registration, obviously. And if it's not, because you're going to have a deed of sale for this transfer. If it's not, make sure there's a line from the original owner to them and then to you. It's just not like in America where you get the pink slip, you get the registration, you sign it in the back, you put the value, and then you go register it. It doesn't work like that here in the Philippines. It has to go through a lawyer. So unless you don't plan on registering this motorcycle and or car, and you're gonna run around the province, perfectly fine. But the moment you get caught up with an LTO, checkpoint, or whatever, your car might get, or your motorcycle might get impounded. Don't be that stupid at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Get the paperwork right. Pay the little extra to go to the lawyer, even if you have to shoulder it, because you don't want to be caught up in the situation where you got a lot of red tape, your car or motorcycle gets embargoed, you're done. It's going to be in a yard. You got to go through all this red tape, like I said, and it might cost unnecessary money that you don't need to spend at the end of the day, right? Never trade your comfort for convenience. If it's not officially yours on paper, it's not yours. If you don't have the original OR and CR, it's not yours. And once you have the OR and CR, please make sure you register that bike as soon as you can, so all the paperwork will come out your name. Then at least like it's literally yours. So even if you had the deed of sale, it's, for me, it's still not strong, because every time you get pulled over, when you show the ORCR and it doesn't match your license, this has happened to me sometimes. I had to show the deed of sale that the transfer came through, or to me, and that's too much of a headache carrying all that paperwork in the car. Or you've seen these little bikes, these little scooters. Some of them have really small glove compartments. Some of them now have like the size of helmets and go in there, but it's still a nuisance. So just make sure you spend the extra money. So go to a lawyer, get the deed of sale done, and then when it's time to actually register it, get it done through the LTO and change the names to your name. And number 5, last but not least, the business partner dream, right? So this happens a lot. I just went through one, honestly. The most dangerous man is the one who looks legitimate, right? The one who knows everybody, the one who has the most connections. And, you know, I see a lot of them, dude. You have to, maybe it's a benefit because I understand Bisaya when they're out here, because sometimes you see the real feelings or the real talking after you foreigners leave, or when because you have to understand, when Filipinos look at me, they genuinely see for the most part, another Filipino. They don't equate to me as American. So some of them divulge their intentions, like, yeah, we're going to get some money off of this situation right now. We're going to set this up. We're going to set that up. I'm just going to introduce him to my friend, whatever. You know, these back deals happen, and you're out there, you're just nodding and thinking, oh, there's a great partnership. It's going to really set me up. This guy knows everybody. This guy knows so-and-so. This guy knows so-and-so. Until, like I said before, clarifying questions, observation, watch the whole situation. And many of you here are super smart anyway, and you probably do it now. But these are for the people who are not cognizant of those particular strategies or techniques that you need to do. What ends up happening is, like, the business partner situation is, hey, I'll take care of it for you. I just don't have the capital. I'm going to be sweat equity, and you're going to be funding the situation. You're going to be funding the dream, right? So, and I'll bring the connections, and everything's going to work synergistically. And 3 months later, the capital is gone, and so are they, almost like the lending guy. So, you know, once again, like, before getting into that partnership, analyze the person, really see where their spending habits are. Are they braggadocious? Are they constantly, when they're out with you, are they consistently drinking? And when they're drinking, number one, when they're drinking, are they out of their mind? Are they not cool? Are they not calm and collected? When they're speaking about business ideas, are they all the way thought out, as in what needs to happen, rather than, hey, let's start this business, man, I know a guy. Or let's start this business, I got a connection inside. I just don't work that way, to be honest with you, right? If they can't show receipts and other partnerships that have gone well, and they have like zero skin in the game, zero. I was in, like, you're fronting the capital, however, they're just sweat equity, but I mean, they have zero skin. I mean, they're not liable for anything. I would watch out for that, to be honest with you. As I said before, if there's no equal, like, risk taking there, it's not really a partnership, right? If they don't want to put their paper or their name on anything there, you know, That's it's a red flag for me at the end of the day. Like I said before, clarifying questions, observation. If they say they know everybody and all those things, you kind of just have to look from afar and see if that's really true after so many weeks, months, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be a business partner to this person. You're going to make it work. So you have to really look at, is it going to happen? Now, if you're going abroad, you're going back abroad, might not be the right time to start a business, to be honest with you, right? Unless you truly trust this person and you want to take the risk. It's your money at the end of the day. I would like to point out, everyone out here is not out there to get you. I'm just sharing with you some of the nightmares that a lot of foreigners that I know it happens. You know, it could be Filipino to American or foreigner, foreigner to Filipino. It goes both ways sometimes. All I'm saying is these are common things that I see, these 5 scams. Please be careful when you do any transaction at the end of the day, right? Now, in fact, most Filipinos value loyalty and respect more than money. I'll be honest with you. Like, I've been in my personal life, some people are insulted when I offer them money for the particular job I want them to do because they're just basing on, I thought we were friends. Just, take care of me in some way, but you don't got to mention about money because I'm not your employee. And I effed up on that one. But all I'm saying is the way my mind works is I don't want you to move for me and I don't pay you a fair rate. I want you to give me the fair rate so we're all on the same page. But sometimes I messed up on that cultural interaction before. Like I said, the majority of people here, they're pretty cool. They value loyalty and respect over money. 99% of the people. But I'm only talking about that 1% that'll F you up. And then your experience here as a foreigner is all effed up because of that 1% of, population. So for some of you young foreigners or even older foreigners who are a bit arrogant sometimes, don't think that your foreignness here is an asset, okay? And sometimes it's a liability, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe if you're a guy looking for girls who are they're into foreigners, femmes, what they call them, they're gold diggers pretty much, or I don't know. Yeah, it's an asset. And maybe you have a fixed income, so you can take them out all the time. You can take their uncle, their cousins, their whole family out. Yeah, you're an asset. But at the same time, to yourself, you're a liability because you're getting overexposed, right? You're exposing yourself too much. So that's just my mindset when it comes to being a foreigner here, or even me as a Phil. I try my best to be super down low as much as I can because there's certain expectations for me. I would like to say, there are certain expectations that Filipinos look on me, being a Phil and being an entrepreneur or just whatever perspective they look at me as. There are certain expectations that are put on me that I particularly don't like. And I don't know about you, but you shouldn't either because I shouldn't be the breadwinner for every single person I encounter or the person who fronts everything. But sometimes it happens, and sometimes, the sentiment is there, that's what makes me be very selective of who I hang out with. And back to my point, observation, clarification, and all those things. Here in the Philippines, I would love to, say you really have to practice discernment here. And that's where the real confident, character comes out when you practice discernment. Just understanding, like, is this the best choice for me? Is this going to be a good or bad impact on me? Is there going to be a net positive result when I do this thing here? And not just, hey, my ego's up there. I'm a foreigner. I'm just going to just throw all this money out. Because even I have had friends and family arrogantly walk around with like 100,000 in their wallet and things like that. I just wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't. It's not really a good look for me at the end of the day. Now, once again, you don't have to be paranoid. Just be wiser when your movements. There is something to be said about being street smart in this setting, right? Because those people that are watching you, that are looking to, pull one over on you, that 1%, trust me, these people are very, very smart. And whatever country they're in, their intelligence when it comes to being street smart, they probably have a super crazy IQ. Moreover, probably a really high EQ as well. It's just unchanneled, it's just channeled the wrong way. In closing, I'm not here to sell fear at all. I just, get me straight, okay? I'm not here to sell fear at all. But I am wanting you guys to build some sense of discernment when you come here. Now, I'm just a man learning in real time and still trying to find a purpose in life. And I really believe my purpose in life is just to bring value to people's lives in whatever capacity that is, matching with whatever capacity I can put out. At the same time, I did grow up in a rough neighborhood. I did grow up with a sense of street smartness that I had to practice. And I did do things that I am now proud of as a young kid or a young person. But at the same time, in hindsight, that has shown me so many things of how to interact with people, how to spot certain things. And unfortunately, some people, foreigners, Filipinos alike, some people don't have that edge. But hopefully this channel will help you. This particular video has helped you and brought value to you in that sense. If it did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment on there more importantly so people can kind of interact, build a community around this channel. And I really appreciate you coming by. And if you ever want to jump on a podcast, because I would love to interview some expats especially, hit this QR code right here. Once again, thank you for jumping on. I'm just trying to sometimes showcase my failures and what I've learned, and just doing it one lesson at a time at the end of the day. And I hope, you've learned something out of this situation, out of this particular video. And like I said, brought value to you. And I'm sorry if you're not that religious, but the glory goes to God all the time. And I am so grateful that you're watching it to this far into this part of the video, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here without God's grace, to be honest with you. And I am still ever evolving into being a better person, a better Christian, and really relying on God to be the center of my life, to be my source at the end of the day. And hopefully I can bring you in that journey of just learning and trying my best to show you and hopefully learn from you as well. And I hope to see you in the next video. Check out this video. I believe that it will give you more value as well and help you get closer to being a happier person here in the Philippines, more than likely, and a more aware person here in the Philippines. So take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.